Hi, this is Savannah,
And this is Brian from the Dorky Diva Show,
and you're listening to Star Wars.
the best place for below average Star Wars.
In a world where people need 80s and 90s movie reviews, two regular Geordies combine forces to bring you the Brother to Brother 80s and 90s movie review podcast. Check them out on Twitter, YouTube, and all decent podcast vendors.
Welcome to Star Wars, best place for below average Star Wars.
Hello there, and welcome to the Star Wars Show, the best place for below average Star Wars. I am the Geordie Jedi Pete, and I'm joined by Jason Hondoling. Jason, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Pete, and yourself?
I'm good, I'm excited, I'm ready to talk Star Wars. Obviously, going to be quite a newsy type filled episode today. And we'll just dive straight in, Jason, so if you want to take it away with the first news topic of the episode.
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously, there's been quite a lot coming out over the last week. But one of the sort of stories that broke earlier in the week was about the late great Peter Mayhew. And it was a story about how Rydell auctioneers in North Yorkshire had put up some items, including scripts and all sorts of um, memorabilia that had been found in a home that had previously been owned by Peter and his wife Angie. Now, obviously, there was a lot of interest in this sort of thing, as there always is with any sort of film memorabilia. But then Angie took to Twitter basically to announce that the items that had been found and that were going up had been left in the building because Peter had been due to issues had been too frail to be able to get up into the loft to get these items out. So obviously she was appealing to the auctioneers to get the items returned rather than go up for sale. So obviously this broke, and because of the time differences and something, you know, details going between and the obvious Twitter exchanges, for a while it looked like, you know, the sale was going to go through, but then the auctioneers managed to get in contact with Angie, and it's been organised for the items to be returned, and they're going to be going on display in the Chewy or the Peter Mayhew Foundation are taking the items back to display them in the museum for it. So it's good news, obviously, that now these items are being kept and preserved and will be able to be shared by fans and everyone around at the museum.
Definitely. I think for me, this was a story I came across on Twitter, and I came across it. I think obviously the auctioneer or someone related to the auctioneers and BBC had sort of tweeted about how these awesome items are going for auction. And then I came across it because someone in the Star Wars online community had sort of shared it with sort of a raised eyebrow, shall we say, to say, shouldn't this be returned type of thing. And then I saw sort of develop, and I saw sort of the Wookiee Rose Twitter handle sort of got involved, asking to say, look, can we speak? Can we get it back? Me personally, on my personal Twitter account, I shared the initial auction post and said, look, morally, do the right thing, give it back. I did the same with the official podcast account, morally give it back. I think two things, like Peter or his family have never sold these on, and they're not asking for them back now. If you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like they were left almost out of necessity and by accident. We all know Peter has had had problems before he passed away with his mobility and his health, deteriorating, quite badly. Anybody who's seen him at conventions, seen him, with a stick or being wheelchair around, that type of thing. Um, I remember last celebration I went to. Um, I think they cut one of his signings short because it was just too much for him. And then he hears stories, that the house had water damage and stuff as well from a burst pipe. So it was like, like he couldn't go up, and he probably didn't want to send his family up either because the floorboards up there were a bit questionable, and your family's worth more than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
but no, so I think I'm glad they've done the right thing. I'm glad they go back, like I said. Has the auction house done anything wrong? Not really. They've came across it too, have bought the house and then give it to the auctioneers, that type of thing. But I'm glad once they've got the details and learned about the story, that they've then made a good decision, I think, and give it back. And I think again, Peter's family, haven't put them up for sale themselves or not trying to profiteer off it. They're going to be put on display where Star Wars fans across the world can come and look at them and enjoy them and get that enjoyment out of them. So yes, I'm glad the auctioneers did the right thing. It's the right thing to do, and I'm glad that sort of we've got a story of some nice human nature. And I know it seemed like it wouldn't be at the time, as you said, Jason, about time differences, and sort of there was a period of time and passed with sort of no update. Um,
Yeah.
but during that time, they were probably trying to make contact, trying to finalize the details, make sure the details are correct, that type of thing. So like I said, I take my hats off to all parties involved to actually come into the right, nice human result at the end, which is fantastic. Are you planning on going to visit the memorabilia, Jason?
Um, Not something that at the moment I've planned on, but it would be something, anything like this where you can get to actually see a bit of Star Wars history is always going to be of interest. And I think and especially Peter for me was quite a character that I admired because obviously he created this role that he it was all about his physicality, and he created this lovable character whilst covered in all of this fur and makeup and that. So no, I have to admit, if I got the chance, I would love to. But it's one of those things that it's whether I ever would get the chance. But I'd like to think I will one day.
Whereabouts is it? Do you know?
I believe it's in Texas or somewhere. I know it's in America somewhere. The actual Chewie Museum.
Cool. And I think what you said there about about Peter Mayhew sort of bringing Chewbacca to life. It wasn't just about having a big man in a suit. Um, if you just look at how believable Chewie's been since 1977, but also, obviously come the sequel trilogy, Peter was very limited in his movement and health, and Jonas has come into the role. He's a big guy, puts a suit on, but he's also he's worked with Peter, he spoke with Peter, been intimate with Peter about the little intricacies that are all about being Chewbacca. And if you look at like what he does now as Chewbacca, again goes to show that it's not just putting a big man in a suit. It's about you know the emotion, the characterization, every little detail, the subtle movements, the subtle sounds, um, that you have to do that role. And without it, sort of, it's all stuff that Peter created. And without it, if Chewbacca's not believable, then the movie probably fails. Same as if R2D2 or C3PO weren't believable. Again, the movie fails. The stormtroopers don't come across as dangerous. The movie fails. Vader, if he comes across as goofy, the movie fails. All those things are sort of out of this world type stuff. If they didn't come across as believable and of the world, then it would have failed. So, I think let's just have a bit of a Peter Mayhew love fest and tip the hat to where it's due to, a guy who cared so much about Star Wars fans, but also like cared so much about this character and about the universe that he was working in. And again, without him, it wouldn't be what it is. Um, do you have a favorite piece of Chewbacca merchandise, Jason, that you would love to own one day?
Um, it's quite funny you should say that because anyone that knows my daughter Jess will know that Chewie has been for a long time one of her favourite characters. In fact, before she even reached one, I'd got her to build a bear Chewy, which she's still got now, although it's very tattered. And she, much of her childhood, she slept with Chewbacca as a cuddly toy. And so merchandise wise, one of the fun things I actually found for her was a Chewbacca onesie. So for a long time, that was her choice of nightwear when she was staying with me. So that it's a bit of fun merchandise, really. But obviously, again as well, what I love is the fact that this character is quite hard to play, and you go to the conventions and there's guys that are wearing replica costumes. And it was another example of a brilliant incident with Jess. We went to the MCM Comic Con up in Birmingham, and there was two guys is different. One was a Chewie, and I forget which other Wookiee, but there was these two huge Wookiees, and Jess was very very small at the time. And she wanted to go over and have a hug with the Wookiees, and she ran over, and it was their handlers that they had with them almost had a heart attack because this Wookiee bent down and just looked at Jess, gave her a big hug, and then he picked her up so she was lifted up into the air by this Wookiee. And I've got a brilliant photograph of her suspended in the air, hugging this Wookiee, and another Wookiee coming in and giving her a cuddle at the same time, and she just disappears in amongst the fur. So I think that to me captured the magic of what Peter had already created.
100%. It certainly sounds magical. Those are moments that you and your kids will never forget as well, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, Jason, take us into our second topic.
Right, the second topic is something that, as you know, I absolutely love, and that's Star Wars Lego. And just recently there's been a reveal that we've got two new helmets coming out in the rather popular range Lego now do. So we've now got Rex and Cody helmets, which I'm going to have to purchase because they look amazing. But at the same time, there's something that I want to sort of talk about that I tend to drop in and out of. But there's a Lego magazine, or Lego Star Wars magazine, that if you like collecting minifigures or the little mini builds, these magazines they range from about £3.50 to £4.50, I think, is so they're not expensive, but each month they come with a free minifigure or mini build. And this month everything has just gone by storm because the character this month is Bo Katan. And it's a minifigure that I'd already got because I've got the Mandalorian Starfighter. So you get Bo Katan with that, and it's the same minifigure from that set. The only thing that you don't get that you get with the set is the hairpiece, but you do get obviously the Bo Katan figure and her helmet. And I just wanted to make people. There are a lot of people buying these, collecting them, because they think, and they're trying to sell the minifigure for stupid prices. So I just want to let you know that if you get the chance and you want a Bo-Katan minifigure, just pop into your local newsagents and pick up the magazine. And if you've got kids, they've got some fun comics, some competitions in there. And it's just a way. It does bug me that people now are trying to sell the minifigures at stupid prices. And I quite often see on the internet these things are difficult to get hold of. The magazine's sold out. Well, I've been into lots of local news agents. The magazine's been there all the way through the month, easy to get hold of. So don't get caught in the trap. And if you really want to get a Bo Katan figure, head and, it's a nice way of getting that figure. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things that goes on quite a lot. And I sort of get wary of internet buzz about a minifigure when it's something that's quite easily accessible. Just you need to purchase it when you want to.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I trade eBay quite a lot. I don't just search Star Wars and put it in order of things ordered soonest, and just auctions ordered ending soonest, and then choosing from there, having a look. And the amount of Lego sets
Yeah,
I come across on there where it's like minifigures not included because somebody's bought the set for the minifigures, perhaps maybe. It's
yeah.
quite crazy. But yeah, I mean, to get the Bo Katan as the free item in the magazine's quite cool. I think a lot of kids will be loving that. Getting a really awesome minifigure. Um, so when you say that on eBay, like how much are these Bo Katans going for currently, or not going for,
I,
not on sale for?
I saw one the other day. Someone was trying to sell it with the hairpiece for like 25 quid for the minifigure. Um, so obviously they've bought that from the set to get the hairpiece. Um, which it just, I have to admit, for example, Sabine Wren character, obviously she's very easily purchased with the hairpiece, but to get her helmet, there was only ever one set that you could purchase. And I looked at purchasing the minifigure and I saw how ridiculous the prices were. I went on Bricklink and bought the entire set just so that I got the Sabine Wren. So I've now got the complete set of Rebels. But yeah, some of the prices they are literally trying to sell a minifigure for the same price as a set. But the problem is, if people are willing to pay it, they will always try and get that sort of money. So it's just one of those things with Lego, with it being so collectible. But I have to admit, I've been and bought. I already had the Bo Katan figure with the hairpiece, but I've now gone and bought myself an extra figure. So if I want to, I can display it with Bo Katan with helmet, Bo Katan with hairpiece side by side. So I've got quite a nice little display if I want to there.
There we go. Well, I'm quite. I might. I don't really buy. I've never bought the Lego magazine ever, but now you've said this, I just feel a bit itchy. I might go get myself one just to get a little Bo Katan collectible. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is a very nice figure as well, and the way they've done the helmet, with the night owl effect on it, it is a really nice one. So it's a nice one to have a collection. As I say, for £4.50 for a magazine, it's worth getting.
Definitely. Big question for you, Jason. Um, what what's the one minifigure since the beginning of Star Wars Lego, which was 1999, I believe, um, that you don't own but you would kill for?
That's a difficult one. I have to admit, I keep looking at them. Oh, actually, no, easy answer. It's the Ahsoka Tano, but the very rare figure. Can't. I'm trying to remember which set it comes with now, but that one goes for silly prices. I've actually got every single Ahsoka Tano figure except for that one. So yeah, it's the older Rebels. That's it. It's the Rebels Ahsoka as opposed to the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian, or not? No, Clone Wars Ahsoka, which also includes the most recent one that they bought out. But yeah, no, it's the very rare one that I think the last time I looked at it, it was going for something stupid like £160 or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Lego is that Lego discontinue the sets don't they, quite regularly, which is a cool thing. I think 'cause it means once you bought it when it was out, it sort of makes it desirable and collectible. But it also means that
Yeah,
any figure that hasn't been reproduced is
yeah,
now, you can no longer get it. So it's essentially, if you want it, you have to pay the price of someone who's selling it, which is sort of cool if you've got it, I suppose. If you're hunting it, it can be problematic, but it's all about the hunt, isn't it? But I think I just love how basically if I needed to hire you as a bounty hunter, I wouldn't pay in calamari flan or imperial credits, but I could just offer you this Ahsoka minifigure and you would kill anyone I
yeah,
send.
yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic. I might go and buy it for £160 just so I can have you join the guild. Um, it's weird because I've got quite a lot of Lego sets. Like, when I say quite a lot, I don't mean like loads, but I've probably got about now 20 or 30 Star Wars Lego sets, which there's been hundreds, hasn't there? But
Yeah,
at the minute, I'm not moved to my new house, but I'll be interested to see once I look at them all, like whether I've got any rare ones or not. Because I might have, I might not, but I might have. So who knows?
I have to admit, one of my favourite ones that I have got, and I'm at the time I paid full price for the kit when it first came out, and that's the Grand Admiral Thrawn figure. I wish I'd actually bought two of the kits just as an investment,
Is that the Phantom
but
2?
yeah,
I've
yeah,
actually got that kit.
I
I haven't built it. I've got it. It's in my storage.
oh, I love it. Well, as you know, Rebels and myself, because I've got the Ghost, and I've got both Phantoms. I've also got Rex's ATTT, um, which is another one of my favourite kits. So I'm glad that I've got all of those as well. And having the entire crew of the Ghost was all I really wanted to do. So once I got the Sabine, then I had the whole kit.
That's pretty awesome. So I do have that set, but I've not built it. So maybe that's when I finally get moving. I may build it and see how awesome it looks. Um, Moving on to our next news topic, Jason, take it away.
Yep. Bear with me. I've lost me notes now.
Well,
Yeah.
luckily,
So obviously, this week we've had quite a few announcements as well about guests for celebration. So obviously we've Rosario Dawson, which to me was a bit of a no. I had a feeling she was going to be there, because I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get some reveals about the Ahsoka series as it gets closer. And obviously, you've got the likes of D. Bradley Baker, Vivian Lyra Blair, which I think she's going to be a really popular one for people to go and see because everyone fell in love with her portrayal of Leah Organa. And then obviously we've got quite a few. So you've got Caroline Blakiston, Silas Carson, Michael Carter, Sean Crawford. Sean Crawford, I would say, is very popular at the moment because he's actually one of the. I think he's the only one that's a free autograph. So there's quite a few people going for that one because it's free. Obviously, you've got Hayden Christensen was announced, Gwendolyn Christie, Aidan Cook, Anthony Daniels, Tim Dry, obviously Ashley Eckstein, which I haven't bit yet. I've sort of trying to be very good, but she's the one person that I really would like to meet when I get to Celebration. Then you've got Mike Edmonds, Giancarlo Esposito, Matt Lanter, who's going to be a popular one, Dennis Lawson, Mads Mikkelsen. Um, I could go on and on and on and on and on, and obviously Katie Sackhoff, which is another one I really love to go and see, and obviously Billy D. Williams, which I was really pleased to see that he's going to be attending. So there's so many there to choose from. Um, but obviously there's been a lot about the pricing of this, and we discussed it earlier with Jedi News, and I think there's been issues because of obviously traveling costs and covering costs and everything. So it's quite an expensive experience if you want to get an autograph or photo. So it'd be interesting to see who does go and who doesn't go. So yeah, there's really lots of exciting stuff to look forward to um, with Celebration up and coming. So I'm looking forward to seeing plenty of people there. Hopefully, lots and lots of different actors. Also, obviously, along with Celebration over the last few weeks, we've been getting involved with different things through my my dealings with Jedi News and everything. I'm looking forward to as well is appearing alongside different people. Um, Going to the 501st Return of the Bash, which is on the Friday night and has sold out amazingly. I was pleased to get a ticket and we'll be there with the Jedi News team and Pete, so that'll be cool. And then obviously on the Saturday, there's the sail barge set up by the Mando Mercs, the Rebel Legion, I think it was Dark Galaxy as well. So I'm really looking forward to stepping on the cruise ship and going down the Thames, meeting different people from all the different costuming groups. But there's so many events going on around Celebration that, whether you're going to see the panels, going to see the different people, there's a lot to be seen, I think.
Definitely. Are you looking forward to getting any autographs at Celebration, Jason?
I at the moment I'm not gonna buy. For one thing, I think I'm gonna be quite busy doing different stuff. So I'm really just going for the experience, the chance to meet up with lots and lots of other different fans. Obviously yourself. Um, it'll be great to meet you and have a beer with you for the first time.
And a few
Um,
rums.
and a few rums. Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the really cool experiences that I know you and myself are looking forward to. Because obviously we're in with the Jedi News team, so we finally managed to find somewhere that can hold all of us. So I think it's going to be quite a good experience for all of us sort of working together. And obviously, just getting out there and meeting people. I know Jedi News, I've got some lovely new polo shirts and gear to put on for Celebration. And I know Kat and Ian and yourself, we're getting some Star Wars stuff. So whether I'm wandering around wearing Star Wars or wandering around Jedi News, I'll be pretty recognisable for most people, I think.
Definitely. I think one of the things I noticed, obviously, with the guest announcements, they've announced a lot of guests. Obviously, a lot of Return of the Jedi guests for the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary panel. Obviously, you mentioned Rosario Dawson. I think there will be some sort of Ahsoka panel, whether it's a full Ahsoka panel or whether it's more just a future of Star Wars panel that I'll be part of, because that show should be finished filming by then, I think.
Yeah.
I think some of the prices of some of the autographs and photographs seems quite expensive compared to other cons. Now I don't really do it much, so it doesn't really affect me too much. But I think with me at the minute, I've seen some of the prices, and I was a bit like, A, we're in a cost of living crisis in the UK. B, me personally, I've just renovating a house, so money is tight. Like, there's just no way I can even contemplate getting a picture or autograph from someone when it's going to be over
Yeah,
over £100, even for like, lower
I,
profile people are quite expensive as well.
yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And it's, as I say, it's something we've sort of discussed, and Jedi News have sort of reached out, and the reply that's come back from the organisers is that a lot of it is to do with travel costs, costs of accommodation, because as you and I know, trying to find accommodation in London for that weekend has been absolutely crazy. Um, and it's been an issue, and I think logistically it's causing issues for a lot of people. But it's one of those things. I think there's the thing is there's a demand for these things, so people do tend to charge as well to go with the demand. But like yourself, I can't justify the sort of costs for um the autographs, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that do. And in the long run, it's that sort of finance that keeps these sort of events going on. Because let's face it, something like Celebration isn't cheap to put on.
Indeed, but the tickets also aren't cheap, which we've already paid for.
No,
Um,
yeah, true.
which sold out on record numbers. I think yeah, accommodation's a problem, but like I've got a problem at the minute because obviously Newcastle United are in the League Cup final, so I've managed to get myself a Wembley ticket, quite reasonably priced as well. Like officially, so I haven't bought it off anyone, but we'll try and find the combination for that. It is expensive, but it's expensive everywhere you go, isn't it?
Yeah.
The convention that's in Orlando that the week before, where everyone's prices are a lot cheaper. Hotels in Orlando cost money as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I'm thinking, is it have we just put a Star Wars celebration tax on this a little bit? Maybe,
Mm.
maybe not. I don't know. So I don't really connect much. So I'll probably love to hear what people actually autograph hunt and get the autographs, what they have to say about it and how it affects them. Would probably be the best way to find out. Is it a problem? Is it not? Like I said, I don't really dabble in it much. I've only ever got Paul Blake's autograph on a previous figure. And that was fantastic. I only got it done like last year. The Star Wars Fan Fun Day in Blackburn, which was a lovely event.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was awesome. But it was also under.
Paul's a brilliant guy.
He was. He took the time out of conversation, signed me figure for us, had a bit of a chat. And I can't remember how much it was now. I'm sure it was like 25 quid or something. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not too bad. But like I said, I just did it for the sake of doing it because I was there. I said I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't necessarily be hunting it. Not saying I never will get into that because I might. But yeah, so it would be great to hear from someone who actually does get the autographs to see whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, I
Whether
have to admit,
they think, is it more just because it's Celebration, and
yeah,
is it better to wait until you go to the next Comic Con and get them there? Because it's the same person, the same autograph at the end of the day. But I don't know. If I was to tell you that you could get 3 people's autographs at Star Wars Celebration, I'm going to pay for them. Jason, all right? Which 3 people who've been announced do you want autographs from?
well, the first one, as I say, is easy. Ashley Eckstein. Second one would be Katie Sackhoff. And I think the third one would probably be Rosario Dawson.
Ooh, nice. I would run Billy D. Williams. I think I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
Billy D.
yeah, that is another one. Yeah,
But
I wouldn't be happy with 3.
speaking of autographs and really cool ideas, Jedi Brian Balance from the Dorky Diva show. So he has a Star Wars poster. I think it's like an A3 poster, just like
Yeah,
a Star Wars poster. But he gets that signed by sort of people who are in Star Wars. So I haven't checked in with him actually to see who he's got in there recently. But that's a pretty awesome collector's item because once it's full, you get that framed and put on display. Like that'll really pop a room. That'd be awesome.
yeah, that's another thing I'm looking forward to. Celebration is I'm hoping to meet up with Jedi Brian and Savannah, the Dorky Diva, because those guys, big inspiration for me. So it'd be nice to be able to shake them by the hand and say thank you for, well, for one thing, they brought us 2 together for
Indeed.
enjoying these podcasts.
Indeed. Well, I imagine the Dorky Diva show will have a Dorky Diva meetup to do every celebration. So
Yeah.
just got to wait for that to be announced, I suppose. I'm sure they will, which will be fantastic. Taking us into our next news topic, Jason, shoot.
Yes, the next one, quite an exciting one for me because, as everyone knows, I love my animation, and obviously they've announced details for Vision Season 2, which is appearing on May the 4th, which is a great day for that to turn up. And I'm frantically trying to find the other thing that it's a good time May the 4th for animated stories because there's also the Young Jedi Adventures that's going to be premiering on Disney Plus and Disney Junior on May the 4th, which is another animated series aimed more at the younger generation, and that looks like a lot of fun as well. But with Visions, what struck me was there's been some brilliant memes going around because they've announced the different studios that are going to be actually producing the animated features, and one of them is the UK's very own Aardman Animation, who are obviously famous for the Wallace and Gromit films. So there's been some really, really funny memes of Chewbacca and Han Solo as Wallace and Gromit, which just really did make me laugh when I saw them. But it's one of those things where I've lost my notes on who's doing what episode, so I'm frantically trying to find it. But have you seen much about the Survivors stuff, Pete?
So here's where I've got to like. So I haven't finished Vision season 1. I've done like half of it,
Like,
but like I've never finished it. I probably need to go
yeah,
back and do that. Not because I didn't enjoy it or anything, but I was remember being really busy at the time, and I was catching like one or two at a time. So I think I've done
yeah.
about. I mean, how many was in the first one? I think I've watched about
I
6.
think it was. I think it's 10 in each of the seasons that they've done so far.
So I'm about halfway there then.
So yeah. I have to admit, Visions is one of those things that it's quite a strange one. That there are some that I enjoyed. There's some that I can go without, and there's some that I thought were absolutely amazing. Um, Here we go. I found my notes. So yeah, so season 2, the animation studios we've got. I think, and I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce all these right. You've got Elguiri, which is a Spanish animation company, and they're producing the short Sith. We've got Screecher's Reach by Cartoon Saloon, which I'm just looking. Where's Cartoon Saloon from? They're from Ireland, so another one locally. We've then got In the Stars by Punk Robot, and Punk Robot are from Chile, so they're really going all over the world for this. Then we've got I Am Your Mother, which is being produced by Aardman Animation. Um, so that would be quite an interesting one. You've got Journey to the Dark Head by Studio Mia, I think it is, and that's South Korean. And then you've got where am I to? The Spy Dancer, which is Studio La Cachette, which is a French studio. So we're going pretty much all the way around the world. Then 88 Pictures from India are doing The Bandits of Golak, which sounds quite interesting. And then we've got The Pit, which is being produced by, and this is one that it's a Japanese studio that is, I can't even pronounce it, but they're working alongside Lucasfilm with their short. So that looks pretty cool. And then there's Triggerfish, which is African. I think it says South African. Is it studio? Yeah, South African studio, and they're producing the Owl. I think it's Owl Song. So that sounds quite interesting. So just by the titles, they all sound very different, and I'm guessing I Am Your Mother is going to be a bit of a take on the story with Darth Vader and Luke. And then Sith, that'll be interesting to see whether we get a different take on how that works. The Sith are. But there's going by the titles, it looks like there's quite a lot to come with those all arriving on May the 4th.
Do you think we'll see Darth Vader with the wrong trousers?
Oh, that would just be so funny.
Or because he
I,
drove
I,
the sheep as a tauntaun?
yeah. As I say, it was when I saw Wallace and Gromit with Gromit as Chewbacca, I just that did tickle quite a lot. But yeah, so May the 4th, because last year I felt there wasn't a huge amount of stuff happened on May the 4th, but obviously this year, we've got Visions again, and also this new series for kids, which it looks like it's a mix of educational as well as obviously Star Wars storytelling. So be quite interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Um,
just to finish up on Visions, obviously, like I said, I didn't watch it all just because I didn't get round to it. Um, but I'm glad to hear that, the back of season 2. I'm glad to hear that they're using different studios from the first season and that they're using studios from all over the world. That's fantastic. Let's get different people's perspectives in here. Let's allow, animation studios from different countries to be involved, which is really cool. That's going to help make each individual episode its own sort of unique identity, which is great. So, Guards come out May the 4th. Sets me a challenge to sort of go back, redo Vision Seasons 1, I suppose, and then be ready for Vision Season 2. So I've got a few months to get ready for that. And yeah, obviously you just brought up, I think, is it Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures?
yeah, it's
I've seen this on
oh,
social media sort of yesterday, day before. Has a trailer dropped? I've not seen the trailer. I've just seen social
I
media.
don't. It's not so much a trailer. It's just images and details about what the series is going to be about. Obviously, it's based in the High Republic era, and it's basically Yoda, with some young Jedi, younglings. I think I've got the names here. It looks like Kai, Liz, Nubs, and Nash. And obviously we've got a droid which is RJ-83. So it just looks like it's obviously a more kiddie orientated. The animation style, looking at it, is very much like I don't know if you've ever seen the kids Disney series Doc McStuffins, and the more junior stuff. But I know alongside the animation, they're also going to be releasing some young books for encouraging Star Wars reading for youngsters, and obviously Jedi training. So by the looks of it, it's a more junior series that they're releasing to hit the younger audiences. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I've heard there's some really cute character being released too. It's going to be awesome as a teddy bear.
Yes, yes. For one thing, I know our colleague Kat is very, very excited. And I have to admit, I'm looking at the image of the character, just trying to work out what the name of that character is again. Hang on, I need to. There we go. I think it must be. That's Nubs. And yeah, it's almost like a Jedi. I suppose almost like a Jedi Sully from Monsters Inc. So it does look like, yeah, I can imagine it's going to be quite a fun, cuddly toy for
Mhm.
many children.
I'm going to put a gun to your head now, Jason. Okay, so it's May the 4th, but you've only got one choice. You can either watch Star Wars Vision Season 2, or you can watch this Young Jedi Adventures. Which one are you watching?
Sorry, it's going to be Visions.
No worries. Sorry to be the evil dictator there, but I love having fun with you.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it now.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Obviously, Visions. It's a season 1. Like I said the 6 I watched, I enjoyed. The reason why I didn't
Yeah,
binge all is because each one was different, so it didn't flow into the next episode. If that makes sense. Um, so glad Visions is coming back. This Young Jedi Adventures. I think High Republic's been huge for the publishing side of Lucasfilm and Disney. And then this show, like I said, I've seen a couple of pictures and people talking about online. Looks, very sort of cute. You said it could be educational. Again, like, why not? We've got Disney Plus needs content, so we're going to give you your serious stuff, your Mandalorian season 3, your Ahsoka, your Book of Boba Fett, your Kenobi series, and then we're also going to give you, we're going to go around the world and get these world class animation studios to do one offs, and then we're going to come and make this sort of young people show, an education people show. I think it's great to see them really sort of going beyond just sort of making serious content that's sort of Star Wars canon, if that makes sense. which is really cool. One thing I want to speak about was obviously Jedi Survivor, which is the follow-up game, the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think me and Ian reviewed the trailer, which was awesome, a couple episodes ago. Since then, it's been an announcement that's been put back. I just want to read through that announcement and then also talk about some gameplay that's been released. So, sort of EA and Respawn sort of released this following statement. For the last 3 years, the Jedi team here at Respawn has poured its collective heart and soul into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and we are proud to say the next chapter in the tale of Cal Kestis is content complete. We are now focused entirely on the final stage, bug fixes to enhance performance, stability, polish, and most importantly, the player experience. Jedi Survivor is a direct response to the feedback from our community, delivering expansive destinations to explore, evolve combat, and traversal, and of course the continuation of Cal and BD's story. Making this game has truly made us a better team, and we have pushed ourselves at every level to make this a Star Wars sequel our fans expect from Respawn and Lucasfilm Games. In order for the team to hit Respawn quality bar, provide the team the time they need, and achieve the level of polish our fans deserve, we have decided added 6 crucial weeks to our release schedule. Star Wars Jedi Survivor will now launch globally on April 28th. Thanks to EA and Respawn for giving us time to deliver the best experience for our players, and to all of you for your understanding. May the force be with you, Stig and the Star Wars Jedi team. So it's funny because this dropped a couple of weeks ago, that they put it back. I think for me personally, I enjoy playing video games. I think the studio that often delays stuff is Rockstar Games. And, because they won't put a Grand Theft Auto out or they won't put a Red Dead Redemption out if it's not right. So yes, you have to wait for it when it comes out. It means you're getting a great experience when it comes out. And those games are, some of the best games in the world. I think if you look at what happened with that Cyberpunk game, came out, wasn't ready, and it's pretty much killed itself on its launch because of it. So I'm glad that the team have asked, just give us 6 more weeks just to polish these last few things up, and I'm glad that people are listening and saying, what it is, yes, because we want, when people buy the game and take it home, or when they download it on launch day and play it for the first time, we want that experience to be fantastic, which is awesome. It's funny because obviously, they made a point there at the beginning of the states, it's content complete. It's funny, like just the other day, I think it was IGN games were a bit like, yes, the game's been put back, but our coverage hasn't, and they've released like a 9-minute gameplay trailer. Which I don't know if you watched that, Jason, but it looks fantastic. Obviously, me and fellow host Ian will probably do a deep dive into that because we really enjoyed the game and played it first time around. If the 9-minute playthrough, have you watched a 9-minute playthrough?
I haven't. I haven't had chance to have a look at that, and I keep thinking I really must have a look.
So it looks really cool, and it is actually gameplay that you're seeing. Like, it's not cutscenes; it's actual gameplay. So it's really cool. But it looks like on a new planet, which I can't remember the name of, but it looks like Cal crash lands there. But this planet has like there's like Trade Federation droids there that are in operation.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they work for the Trade Federation. I don't know who they work with, but I think someone's obviously got leftovers from the Clone Wars and has activated them and using them, similar to the episode of Bad Batch that we've seen recently.
Right.
So yeah, so we're going to get a slice up not just Imperial Stormtroopers and Bounty Hunters and whoever else comes, but we're also going to get a slice up. There was the B1s, there was the B2s, and there was those Commander droids as well.
Oh, that looks pretty cool then.
I recommend checking it out because it's going to be really cool, I think. Like I said, me and hopefully Ian will do a bigger deep dive into the 9 minutes and stuff we'll see. But yeah, man, exciting times. I'm glad the studio got the time. Give us a game that's fantastic. Can't wait. And like I said, what I saw on that gameplay was just wonderful. New type of enemy to kill, which is going to be great.
And that is the thing that a lot of the times these big gaming companies, they've got all these deadlines, and just to move it a few weeks just to get it to the state that they're happy with can be important.
I think so. I think with Star Wars games, I think we haven't had many games since the the merger with Disney, since Disney bought Lucasfilm. We haven't had many games, and I remember the first Battlefront coming out in the new era and didn't have a story mode and things like that, and that's one thing Star Wars fans really wanted. Obviously, Jedi Fallen Order came out the blue, and then did really well. And I'm glad that it is actually continue this story. But what it is, we're still gonna make it a fantastic experience because we want people who play these games to be like, what it is, yeah, like I'm coming back for the next Star Wars game because not only did I dive into an awesome, fantastic story, but the game worked properly. I had no problems with it. I had a great experience, which is fantastic. But that's the only real topic I wanted to add to your topics. Jason's at the end of the news.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'd had to come up with. Obviously, lots and lots of stuff going on. And as we get closer to celebration, obviously also I had a reminder come up that we've only got 18 days to go until we get the new season of Mando. So that's something to look forward to, which I can't wait. And obviously with Bad Batch, just going from strength to strength. This week's double episode was just absolutely crazy and amazing. I just, yeah, I don't know where to start with that one. Obviously, with, I've reviewed it today, and it's just amazing.
What's your hopes for the second half of the season for Bad Batch?
To tell the truth, I've got so much that I'm hoping is going to happen. I'm just enjoying the ride at the moment. There's been so much going on in that season. I'm not going to spoil it, but the end of the last episode was a real twister. So I'm just really pleased with the way they've gone about it. So yeah, it's there's so much. Obviously, I'm hoping we're going to get a bit more crosshair. Maybe I want to see more of. I think we're going to see more of the Imperials coming after the Bad Batch. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just sort of really enjoying the ride. And if anyone hasn't picked up on it yet, I'd get in there and have a real go at the latest season because it's gone back to the Clone Wars, and it's just absolutely amazing in my eyes.
Yeah, I think one of the things I found I am up to date with it. I don't watch it on release day. Usually I watch it a couple of days later just because of how busy I am. But I've enjoyed the season. I've enjoyed how it's took us away from the Bad Batch a few times and told stories in the galaxy about the wider things, the things the Imperials are doing, the things that like how the Imperial government's operating, and how it's going to launch from this sort of from the Galactic Senate and the Imperial Senate to where we are in New Hope. Sort of dive into that. But I just think we haven't really seen much interaction between the Bad Batch, and Crosshair and Bad Batch and the Empire, except for when they went to Serrano and stole the treasure. So, I think there's a lot to come in the second half of the season. A lot, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of the Bad Batch versus Crosshair, and that type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, there's so much to come, I think. So yeah, I just really am looking forward to seeing what what they've got up their sleeves. But yeah, the latest episode was a real humdinger as far as I was concerned, and there was quite a bit went on in those.
Just put you on the spot. Obviously, as we've just said, we think there's a lot to come in the second half of the season. Let's just say there's not enough time to fit it all in. Do you think we're going to get a season 3?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even suspecting that it's going to finish yet. I think there's so much more to come with that season. You know, I think there's a bigger. I'm pretty sure that when this series was started, there was a grand plan. So I'm pretty certain that we've got plenty more to come. And I'm just looking forward to it, really.
Me too. I cannot wait. That brings end the episode, I think, pretty much, Jason. Where can the people find you on social media?
Yeah, it's at Hondo Ling. Look at that. I've actually remembered it for a change. And
Hey.
yeah, just reach out if you get the chance. I'm obviously getting myself ready for the craziness that is Celebration.
You can find the podcast on Twitter at Bo's Star. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Star Wars Podcast. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jolly Jedi Pete. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, please leave us a top review. It just helps a lot of people find the show and also helps booking guests. And if you're listening on a different type of podcast supplier that has a rating system, again, just please leave us a top review. Only takes you a few seconds, but it makes me and Jason smile for weeks on end when we read them. So thank you very much for that. Thanks very much for listening. Hopefully see all you guys at Star Wars Celebration who go there. Keep an eye out for it. Might have some stickers to hand out. And remember, always tell that to Kanja Club.
Hello, Star Wars listeners. This is Savannah Odit. You might know me as host of The Dorky Diva Show with my co-host Brian Balance. I am also producer of The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, which is a Star Wars-inspired audio drama that we produced over the last year. If you love stories about smugglers, courage, heroic characters, and maybe a few foes along the way, you should go to thedorkydivashow.com and listen to The Adventures of the Zolan Dart today.
Shout! We've got your pigs.
Were any of the critters harmed?
What did you do now?
I didn't do anything. I just freaked out for no reason.
It was nice doing business with you again. Maybe next time we could deliver something less temperamental.
Now, what you call temperamental, I call fun.
Hey, is there a place nearby where I can make some repairs?
3 clicks south of here, you'll find a small spaceport. They should have what you need, as long as it's nothing too big.
Dynamic class? My stars, you don't hear about many of those still being space-worthy.
It's been in my family for a while.
She's pretty great. Any chance you have a hover cart we can use to load up?
I'll check out the HoloNet to see if anything new has come up in the sector.
My name is Sereth Khan. I am the chief here on Kamai. My people and I have been experiencing food shortages as of late due to unforeseen natural occurrences. We are looking to hire someone.
I say we take this one. The pay is great, and it's the type of job we're familiar with.
Welcome. You must be Captain Otoa. I've already sent word to Pac 2 to expect you in the next cycle or so.
You told him we were coming before we even accepted the job. That's rather presumptuous, isn't it?
Perhaps, though once I received confirmation that you were interested and on your way here, I couldn't help but hope.
Fair enough. Well, we'll be back as soon as we can.
Well, that's not good.
Is that blaster fire I hear?
Ah, so you're the one.
Captain, it sounds like they want to do this the hard way.
I love when they got some fight in them.
This is bad. This is bad.
We're about to have a lot of company.
I'll see you soon.